Okay, I'm gonna do an alchemist. Just talk about the early parts of an alchemist since I saw someone asking a question about them on the forum. Starting a game here, you can see choosing a name, whatever. Named it 4. I'm Kevin, go by Nevik and EVUK on the forums. I switched my profile to be named Oifel though because my full name was on it and that was a bit awkward. But anyways, going to just a standard adventure type setting. And the first thing about an alchemist is picking the race. Any race can play an alchemist, but there are some that are much better at it than others. One of the most important parts of teaching racing people don't really look at much is the hit die per level. You get life per level 12. Halflings are really good for that. Hires are kind of okay. Cornacs can play anything. I'll just go like down this point by point as to what they're good for at it. If you play a Cornac Alchemist, you can unlock the heat tree really early with the extra talent point and play them very differently, but they don't really have the mana to support it, so I don't really like doing that very much because you have to pump just magic and willpower, and even though you can unlock Body of Flame at level 12, you can't really sustain it for longer than a turn or two, and I think you actually have to have some items or something to give you more willpower to even do that. So you have to pump willpower over magic. I don't really like that, especially since dexterity is, or willpower is not even like an alchemist secondary stat. It doesn't affect anything except for those types of abilities and mana. Hires are nice for their low XP penalty and like 11 hit die per level, and their talent's okay, but it's no longer as good as it used to be before they came up with like infusions. Because your average regeneration infusion is going to be much stronger than Gift of the Pureborn. Dwarves, I don't know why you'd play a Dwarven Alchemist since, I mean, they have a kind of high XP penalty, they have a high life per level. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not what I would recommend. And the reasoning would be that the XP penalty doesn't really make up for the -2 magic, -2 dexterity they get take. And it has one of the highest XP penalties in the game. And alchemists are very reliant upon getting high levels. Yeeks are nice if you can handle them, but the underwater tunnel is really hard to do, and people won't have yeeks unlocked initially, but you can probably make it one of the strongest alchemists with a yeek. As far as undead goes, you should never play a ghoul alchemist, they just move too slow. The stun resistance is nice though, so I guess you could. A skeleton alchemist is interesting, but the issue with them is they're unable to use infusions, and the movement infusion is just really, really good right now, as it's a way of achieving free action before you achieve 100% stun resistance. Halflings are what I'm going to go with. You can see they don't really have magic, but they do have the dexterity, and you don't need past about 18 dexterity if you're playing an alchemist, unless you're doing some sort of melee staff combat build, which I would question anyways. But around 18 dexterity, you can throw bombs as far as you're going to ever need to, really. So the way I play is I just pump magic and nothing else for the first little level, or for until magic is maxed, and then at that point I'll know, well, I don't know what this is about, and at this point, or once you max magic, you'll know what you want to go with. And there's two basic ways you can play an alchemist. You can either max the golem power, which is probably the easier way to go, but I find throwing bombs to be the more entertaining way to go, personally, as your golems are going to be strong enough to support you even without any of this stuff, and throw bombs will make the game go a bit faster, and you can do lots of neat kiting with bombs, because and then obviously you max channel staff and staff mastery. You at some point you have to put one generic point to extract gems in order to keep up a supply of alchemist gems, but generally you can do enough damage without higher level gems until about, I'll say Tolfalos, the master is. I can't remember if that's the name anymore, but that place. And then at that point, you want to get something else. Or it's Dreadfall now, isn't it? Oh, I need to change my hotkeys. This is a neat little thing that some people don't really realize you can do. If you right-click on your, if you hit M and then right-click on a talent, like Channel Staff especially, you can bind it to your left-click on your mouse. And what I'm doing here is I'm hotkeying all of my things to the left 5 key, or the 5 numbers on the number row, the numerical row at the top of your keyboard, so that I can use one hand and do all of that if I feel like using the mouse or something. Because I don't really use the mouse very much. I tend to use my right hand for more precise movement. Okay, so I have all my things set up, and I'm throwing bombs at stuff. I'm just gonna run around and do this level pretty fast. I'm resting here with my guy selected and my golem, like, ever since a few betas ago, that will rest you until your golem's healed up too. But if you select your golem, he, oh, and an important thing to note is that Channel Staff will go through golems and not hit them, even if you have no points on Alchemist Protection or anything. And the basic strategy with Alchemist is you just try and let your golem take all the damage. I'm not doing a very good job of right now. Oh my. But you can always move through your golem like that if you're trapped in a really tough position like that. And sometimes it's okay to hit your Alchemist with a bomb if he's pretty high HP, but what I should really do is use a Regeneration Infusion and walk a step away and throw a bomb at him. And my golem can obviously take the level 1 guys in this dungeon. Okay, and I'm just going to run around while my golem kills everyone right now. Oh, he's almost dead. So I'm going to throw a bomb over here and try and help him out and get these done. Yeah, as you can see, one of them's almost dead, so I'm just going to go ahead and shoot him. Or wait, no, I don't need to do that because he's going to die next turn. You can see with the Burning 4. I'm just going to keep channel staffing this other one. Because once my golem comes up, we can deal with these other guys pretty easy. Of course, my golem died, but this troll's almost dead, so that's fine. If you play a halfling alchemist, you tend to run into a lot of mana problems. Is the only difficult part about managing it early on. Which is why I do tend to pump magic than willpower, because halflings naturally have 16 dexterity. And eventually I'll put another 2 points in to get a very large throw on my bombs. And I'll run around and grab stuff to extract later on, but I don't... You start out with 3 gems, and you don't need... And each one makes like 50 alchemist gems, and you don't really need any more for at least the first dungeon. Although playing a skeleton, I have run out of gems before, and I tend to get it around level 4 is when I get extract gems. I tend to dive through levels really fast.